Right, Andrew, my turn on the memories, and I feel very
looking forward. No, come on.
Tricky to compete with yours.
The trouble you've got too many. You've just won everything in the whole wide world ever, and the world ever.
No, it's not that. But I'm going to go a bit more. I'm going a bit more modern, up to date.
Yes.
And a bit more technical. No, I wasn't. Rich laughed.
I was technical in my inverted pear, bendy, bristly thing.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, no, I love that one. But what I'm going to go on about, a match this qualifier at Tunnel Barn in 2019. Yeah, because it's when I went on to win. It's when I went on to win match this.
Is this where Jordan was?
Jordan was next to me. So 2019.
Yes, I remember this one.
It was at Tunnel Barn, and I drew on 29 on house pool, which is a mega peg. First peg on the bridge on house pool, absolute.
Is that where it like sticks out? You're on like a bit of a jetty. Is that there?
Yeah, yeah. No, you're not on the jetty.
House and extension. Mate.
Yeah, it's not one of the jetty pegs. It's the first peg at the end of the bridge. So it's literally the bridge, my peg, and it's set back.
Oh,
so
right, okay.
George was next to me on
further.
30. 29, 30, yeah. And he's out here.
So have you got like a ledger bomb chuck and all that to an island? Have you got all that?
Yeah, I've got an island in front of me and all that, but there were no rods involved. I didn't bother with a rod. Did I? No, I didn't. I didn't even set a rod up. But what it had been...
How dare you not?
I think there'd been...
eventuality.
But you're there to win, it's qualifier, so it's very different. You've got to win when it's qualifier. So all the what-ifs go out, you've just got to try and win. But it had been... I remember going down, and it was weird. It was almost being cocky, but massively confident with how Tunnel had been fishing. There'd been, I'm sure there'd been a festival. There must have been a spring or something festival.
Yeah.
And I think Dale had won it. But every day, it'd been tricky. It'd been like £100 winning.
Oh, really?
Which is good, but for Tunnel...
like 2 hours, isn't it?
Yeah. There was no shallow fishing. Do you know what I mean?
For Tunnel?
Yeah, it just not been right.
The weather was a bit pungy, wasn't it? I think that's why it went for like massive highs and then lows, wasn't it?
Maybe, yeah.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, it had been moody, definitely, hadn't it? The same. We just talked about this as well, haven't we? It was the same day when Andy qualified at Western.
Drew the best peg on the old complex, and 2 Stretton.
2 on Stretton, yeah.
Amazing.
It was, I remember that. So yeah, it's that day, and it had been really moody. So I'm fishing for a low weight, and I thought, with how I fish Tunnel, when it's not shallow fishing, it becomes a lot fairer. There's a lot more pegs you can win from, and I think we were definitely on house pool. We were on extension. I think we were on top and new as well.
Yeah.
Can't remember. I think there were about 80 odd.
There's not usually as many people in them, is there, as like the fish hole?
There weren't then, because that's when it was very saturated. There was a lot of matches. But I think we were on about 4 lakes, so it was the talk was 100 to 120 pounds was going to be enough to win.
Blooming heck, right?
Okay. When that comes into a Tunnel, my preferred way of fishing, when I can fish me pellets.
Yeah.
I'm going massively confident, and I'm rocking up thinking, I can win off half the pegs here.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
I mean, you really do think flipping heck, there's a massive chance. I say I've drawn this 29 on house, mega peg. I wasn't happy though, weirdly.
Never happy, is he, folks? You know what I mean? Talk us through, Jay.
It's a weird one, because 29 on house, mega pegs, is probably the best winter peg at Tunnel Barn. But it has, other than a rod chuck, it has no margins, no shallow water. In fact, it has no shallow water, that's the way of putting it.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, because I've just got open water. In front of me, it's just an open water peg. You've got a very deep edge to your left, which is very snaggy because you've got this bridge. You've got a little strange pot, like a little floating island that you fish too shallow.
Yeah.
And I had like a top kit down the edge to my right, but because Jordan was sat next to me, that was never going to be a productive area.
Was he right next to you? Or was
literally 29, 30. I think it was 29, 30. 31 wasn't in, 32, 33.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, 4 on the island, which is quite snug for the island.
So, right, I'm trying to get it in. So you've got the little bit behind you where people are fishing to the back of the island?
Yes.
So you're that first one there over that bridge?
I'm literally the end of the bridge, yeah.
Right.
Literally on the bridge.
I know where you are now, mate.
I'm a troll on the bridge on this peg.
Yes.
But half a chance. So I was worried that I didn't have the options of shallow water, which is so vital, isn't it? And when it comes to your F1 fishing during the summer, having variances in depth, everything.
Yeah.
It was also a very silty area. I mean, so quite a tricky one to fish, but I was happy. Yeah, and it had carp in the area as well, which for me, that's really important at Tunnel, is having carp.
I've never associated Tunnel with carp. I've never caught carp in Tunnel.
It's only areas, isn't it? There's a couple of lakes and a couple of areas.
You've never drawn the pegs that you do, Jim.
Yes, probably not. But 29's a carpy area.
Carpy, right.
They live in that bowl.
Big uns as well, like, or?
Some big uns, yeah, some decent ones, some proper ones. So, start the match, same as usual, set up all sorts. Yeah, I didn't know how it was going to be, but you've had to, because it is that sort of weight, 100 to 130 pounds, I remember setting up absolutely everything in that. I've had a short line, that I plan to start on pellets there and then swap into maggots later on.
Yeah.
I've had my longer line, which I actually had 2 rigs for, which I'm going to talk about a bit later. Oh, I had 2 deck rigs for. I had my usual shallow tops already, with all my shallow rigs on in case I needed to fish that.
Yeah.
And then I think I did put an edge line in. I remember, I put an edge line into my right. I didn't fish on that at all, but I did put a line into my left towards the bridge where I could catch some fish there. I think I fished pellets down there, if I remember. I don't know. But anyway, we started the match short.
Yeah.
Same as always.
As you normally do.
Start on top getting one, sit and watch everyone.
Yeah.
George's done the same. In fact, no, George's gone against it. No, he hasn't. He has. He started short, but George's gone for it shallow.
Oh, right. What, from the off?
No, fed it.
Oh, right, okay.
I mean, fed a shallow line from the off. So I love that. It was one of the best situations where you're unsure of how the match is going to be, but people around you are going to let you know how it's going to
be. Yeah.
So it was great seeing George. I think he fished maggot shallow. So he started short, same as me, and we both caught whatever short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Half a dozen F1s each short. And then George's gone onto a shallow line and got mired to death with a little fish, but hooked an odd F1. Not many, but
a little silver, a
two.
little like roach in that, or little F1s?
just no vermin.
Like,
Tiny little roach, but he's hooked the odd F1. I thought, there is an odd fish shallow, I can't get rid of that completely. So I've started to feed my long line, but I've fed it with pellets instead.
4 mils or
yes, because the pellets, when it comes to a lower weight job, they're so much more selective and there's no aggro. We all like getting bites and catching fish, but once it comes to catching weights in excess of 80 pound, you need to catch proper fish.
Yes.
Yeah, so I could be a lot slower, but put the right fish in the net.
You knew when you hooked to fish it was going to be something half decent.
Yeah, it was going to be something decent, and as well going with the pellet route, I just fed literally fishery 4 mils that I'd oiled up. Put a bit of oil on them just to stop them because the tunnel fishery pellets are scratchings.
Oh right, so they go to
so they needed a bit of oil on them just to stop them breaking down. And I'm feeding long and they're fizzing like mad straight away, which is a mega thing. But it's a good thing, but this is May. Is it May time? Yeah, it's May time. I'm going to say May.
Yeah.
You having that?
Yeah.
So I don't want them fizzing up. Yeah, fizzing up means that they're really rooting about, doesn't it?
Got eels in your peg, ain't you?
Snakes in my peg, so they're really kicking the bottom up, and I'm thinking, right, am I going to deal with them? I've gone over it, I've gone on deck to start with, and I'm getting liner to death, and I caught a couple with, I'm fishing a 414s, it's 5 foot deep, and I'm fishing a 414s carbon slim, which is Tim Moses carbon slim with a 1.5 mil bristle, with a 4 mil pellet, quite a girly rig. I mean, I've got a slow fall to try and catch them through.
So obviously your shots have been spread out through
I've got sort of like, I think I just had number 10 spread through the whole rig.
Oh right, okay. Yeah,
I'm having that. Maybe 2 smaller droppers down the bottom end, 2 12s and then 10s all the way through my rig. So I'm getting a nice slow fall just to catch everything. Because with a pellet landing in the silt, once it's landed in the silt, I think a pellet has a very short life before it gets covered or doesn't get found.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to see it, and you have a little 10-second window, you get a bite, you catch one. And it was all right. I was catching a couple on that on deck, but I was foul looking a few and I was getting liners.
Right.
So I've got shallow.
Few ones,
on pellets. And with a little diddy rig.
He's been listening to me.
There's usual crack. I caught 1 a chuck shallow for an hour.
Right.
On pellets, and these big, dirty, lovely, the black ones.
So what's George doing at this stage? Is he in the same gang, or is he still getting marred with small fish?
George hasn't got a choice because he's committed to
maggots
and casters. He's done me a favour and dragged every single silverfish out the lake to him. And once you're committed to a bait like that, once you commit to maggot or caster shallow, positively long, there's no going back, is there? No. You can't start being negative among it. Your peg's chaos.
Yes.
Whereas mine was very, very controlled. Yeah, because it wasn't solid, it was just good. I was catching an odd one shallow. I was catching well shallow. Probably had 25 F1s in an hour shallow, which is probably 50 pound, isn't it?
Big doozy ones there, aren't they?
Probably a bit more, probably 60 pound.
Cute head.
But really, really good. And then I've had a meltdown. Yeah,
in what way? What do you mean?
I couldn't catch shallow, my shallow line went.
Right.
And I'm in that situation where it's so silty that I can't get clean bites on the bottom.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there in my little girly rig, it's going under every chuck. Don't get me wrong, I'm laying it in and things are happening every chuck, but I'm either foul looking one or, do you know what I mean, it's just a mess. There's no efficiency, I'm not putting any fish in the net. And it's a match that, it's crazy that it ended up going well. That for definitely an hour and a half in the middle, I didn't know what to do and I was skipping everywhere. Yeah.
Right,
At this point, George changed. He's come short and he's fishing 6 metres short with maggots, which is unusual at that time of year. It's not something you'd want to do, is fish on bottom,
loose
short.
Feeding it as well.
Loose feeding, fishing short, catching 1 a chuck at this point.
F1s or, again, everything?
Yeah, all big F1s.
Oh,
His
right,
peg's changed. He's catching 1 a chuck and Ross Harold's catching really, really well on the end.
Right.
Ross Harold was on 33. 33 on the MP, which lots of bites, a lot easier because it's a bit less silty, a bit shallower up there, but there were smaller fish what he was catching. But we didn't know that, but I mean, he was out my sight sort of, Ross, but Jordan's bagging now short. So I've not known where to go, and I've tried to do the same. So I've come short, I've tried to fish maggot short like Jordan is, and by that time his pegs, we're in the opposite situation now. His is developed.
It's weird, isn't it, how it happens?
Never as good, is it?
No, never ever. You're always that bit behind as well, aren't you?
Yes, yeah, definitely. You just feel that, well, maybe because he's further out as well.
Right.
I mean, he sort of sat to my right a bit further out and stopped. I don't know, but his was right and mine was wrong. I'm catching 1 to his 3.
Oh, right.
And I'm thinking he's clattering and now he's...
But obviously you've had that bit of a start on him anyway, though.
Yeah,
Did
probably.
you think he'd overtaken you at that point then, Joe, when he was having him like that?
Yeah, probably.
Right.
Yeah, in fact, I did, yeah. He probably did. But him and Ross, I felt that they were level with me or just ahead of me. We were all catching a lot of fish, but it was waning. And it's weird how them matches, it takes you so long to shout at yourself and get you to calm down, doesn't it? So what I've done instead, I've gone back out long, that's not worked, but they're still blowing. I'm thinking, what am I going to do here to make a change? So I've changed my feeding completely, in that instead of the pinging it, just putting a few pellets in, I've started rafting it along, as in putting 30 pellets in my catty, feeding it and leaving it. I mean,
I've always told you it's the best thing to do, Jake, get your
just fill it in. But it was big, massive pouch, nice, sort of 13 metres.
What was your reasoning behind that? What was you thinking behind
Put some fish on the deck and stop with this wafting about and fish for them carp, what I was on about. Yeah, forget about what's happening. Yeah, what I'm doing at that time, trying to fish shallow, trying to catch those fish on maggot short, it wasn't good enough. But you're ticking, it's, again, them horrible situations that you get so much information.
When you know you're getting bites and you're catching fish.
Things are happening and you think, what do you do? But I had to bin everything completely and start rafting it along. So 30 pellets, leave it.
Get it in.
And then when I've gone back in, I went in with a completely different rig. I went in with a 414 rig, shotted like soft pellets, like really heavy down the bottom end. And I went in with an 8mm pellet on, which is something I don't do a ton ever. But I thought, right, put a big 8mm on. There's carp there, because you could... Do you know when you can tell it's carp fizzing? It's big, massive plumes of...
Just coming into that bait and smashing it all up.
Yeah, it didn't seem to be F1s, it seemed to be proper fish. So I put an 8mm on, out my little tub of me mix of all sorts of pellets, just an 8mm hook pellet on. I've shipped out there, because I've fed different, I'm not getting liners anymore.
All right, so it's just forced and...
So literally, I've fed, I've left it for a bit, I've just shipped out, dropped it in with no feed, the bait's already on the bottom.
I suppose any smaller fish that had been there would have been like filled up off them anyway as well, so it's the bigger fish.
Look, the shallow line was weaning by then as well, so it had gone a little bit funny. But going in with an 8mm over the top, it sat there and just went dunk.
Proper bites,
no indications, proper run there, and I've got an 8-pounder. Oh, wait a minute. Went in again, got one on the settle. I think I had 6 and 6 chucks at one point of all these proper big, like proper carp. You know what I mean? I probably caught 35 pound in 20 minutes. And it's just things like that where you've done something right and you've got it, do you know what I mean? You've done whatever needed to be done.
Here we go, and then
almost lucky.
Yeah.
But it's mad how your confidence changes. I mean, half an hour previous to that, I was waving the white flag and they're winning, well done chaps.
And then it's weird when you do get on top of things, you sort of get more confident. It's weird. It's an amazing feeling, but it's just weird, isn't it?
Everything just starts working. I had a great run on that, then that went funny, but then because I've calmed down, it's when you're erratic and you're worrying, you don't do anything to its full potential.
No.
So my short line, I was being scatty, feeding wrong, but while I've been catching, I've fed my short line beautifully.
Right.
So when I've dropped on it, it's one of chuck and better than George all of a sudden.
With maggots?
Just because I fed it at the right times, instead of getting giddy and giving it too much too often.
And the fact that, as well, Jay, probably he's clattered him, so he's pushed a few fish
Possibly.
into you know what I mean?
Definitely. I think on 29, you've got so much room, you're pulling fish from that area anyway. I think.
Is it where they can come out of that bowl and sort of like up that narrow arm bit? Is that
well, they can come out the arm and round. I'm sure whoever was on 16, I can't remember who it was, but someone was on 16 that packed up because they weren't catching. So that as well helped. I mean, it gives you a little bit of room, just bring some fish. Yeah. It's just little lucky things like that. But say it went mega. Yeah, I had a lovely finish short on maggots, caught a load short on maggots to push me into the gang, but I still felt, I thought Jordan beat me. And I felt horrible to Jordan, like, because the week before I'd had a golden reel qualifier at Woodland View, and Jordan weighed in 240 pounds. I said to him, Jordan, I promise, I've not got that, and I did. I think I had 270 or something. Just ridiculous. Mate. But do you know what I mean? I'd sort of stitched him there, not nastily, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'd fibbed to him then unintentionally, and I did the same at Tunnel. I said, Jordan, you've beat me.
Did he
100%.
think you'd beat him? And obviously,
I think he did. I think George thought yeah, he's probably with it. But you always think someone's catching more than you, don't you?
100%.
Especially with small, because he probably had. He probably caught more fish than me.
Yeah, some carps.
And Ross, 100% had more than both of us.
Right.
He probably caught, I don't know, 20 more fish than us. And he was on the end. But say, I got so lucky. I weighed 134, George weighed 127, and then Ross weighed 130. I mean, we were top 3 on the island.
Right, okay.
I don't know who's in between, but whoever was on 32, that's the worst peg anyway.
Right.
But the 3 of us.
Made you feel better there, mate, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, I can't remember. It might have been Sam Carr.
Why, what's up with that peg?
It's just set back and boxed in.
Oh, right, okay.
Just not. You don't want to be on 32.
So that's close, isn't it? It's literally one of them carp.
A joke. But it had been, it's looking back, so I've spoken to George about it, quite a few things. It shows how you have to get things right most of the match.
Yeah.
I mean, if he'd have got his long line right,
yeah,
he'd have won.
Yeah.
I mean, if Ross had done something, I don't know how Ross fished, but if he'd have done, it's small differences in their big competitions, and having the bottle to change when something's not right. Don't just stick with it and think, oh, if I flog this, it might come good. You can't rely on them changing. You have to make them change.
Win at all costs. You've got to win. Yeah,
without a doubt, and so it all went luckily my way, and then we snuck that one.
And then you got me screaming down the phone at him. Yeah, I'm qualified. Come on, we get in. Oh, it was amazing.
I remember that on the way. We didn't find out for ages. I
think Rich found out before us.
Yeah, there wasn't someone else winning for ages on your one, like weighing in when you dead late to weigh in.
Yes, from the clay pit. What's his name? Matt Higgins.
I thought there was someone else.
No.
It wasn't Rob Swan, that was this year, wasn't it?
No,
but anyway, I thought someone else. There was one Western, because I got George next to me and he was talking to Christian. I was like, oh no. But then, randomly you pop up, I've won! You must be like last to weigh in on Stratton.
I was literally the last person ever in the world to weigh in.
But that was a very productive day. And
no, I like that one, that's good, that. Again, it just shows like thinking all the time, aren't you?
Yes.
I don't think many people would have thought to put an 8 million on like a predominantly F1 water to try and catch the carp. And
that's what, looking at it that way, it is. That's how you have to look at things. Is never
baiting. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Don't be afraid to go against the grain, isn't it?
Definitely.
I think we do that too much at that style of venue. We've said all that preconceived ideas and that, but you're scared to deviate from what you think is right.
Like that.
But now again,
I've done it loads in the past, and I'm still probably guilty of it now. In the fact that when you think something, I don't do it. When you think something, you just got to try it then, haven't you?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But more often than not, it works, doesn't it?
It does. The only way of leading the way is to go off at a tangent, isn't it?
Definitely.
So hopefully a bit more technical, that one. And I felt like I babbled quite a lot.
Mate, that was amazing. Loved it.
But if you enjoy it, let us know and we will do a few more for you.
Okay then, you lovely lot. So just to let you all know, our beautiful Winning Ways books are now back in stock. So loads and loads of tips and tricks from myself and J-Lad. Get online, www.winningwaysshop. No, it's not.
www.winningways.shop. Andrew.
I do apologise. Are we leaving that in or are we doing another one? We're just leaving it in. It's www. Richard just say it. I want to tell you anyway.
www.winningways.shop.
Well done.
No.com.
Get one ordered, folks. Yeah!